Hey, namaskar. I'm sharing the screen of a video that I had made roughly 10 months ago. And I guess in the process of the video, I talk about this experience that I had beginning in August 11th of 2021, and then culminating in September 24th of 2021, with which I describe as a full Kundalini awakening, to include what I understood as a very intense experience of my crown chakra opening. And I've talked about it with different levels of detail and perhaps enthusiasm since then. And I mean, I've made videos every day since then. So, I know woven throughout the many videos that I've made, I touch upon that. And the narrative, I try to present it as a factual thing, and definitely not as an ego thing, but merely as a sharing, in my mind, sharing to perhaps encourage other people, with this type of, the knowledge of this type of event happening to somebody, the testimony rather, so that's why I share that information, and I'm very careful not to trap myself within my own ego, because really I'm the only person who really does not benefit from operating from this sort of blind ego posture, if you will. But anyway, this Kundalini event, and along with that, very powerful and vivid experiences with my crown chakra and the violet, all that, the detail that went along with that. But suffice to say, my life was changed from that point on. And the manner in which I was living my life prior to that, and what my life became after that event from August 11th to September 24th, 2021, which I consider was my ascension. And my life infinitely more rewarding, just on all levels of a much better quality of life. And that is the reason why I share that information, which is really a very personal experience, but I have felt compelled to share that experience as testimony. And so what I'm getting at is this comment that was made on this video, where they are responding to or talking about, when I'm sharing this information with this Kundalini crown chakra event. And they say, I've had some of the same experiences with crown chakra. It was absolutely amazing. The most amazing experience I have had. I've been trying to open it again and have not been able to. And then I'm a little bit cheeky here, but in a sense, though, I was being very serious when I asked, well, why did you close it after once having opened it? And then I go on to clarify, to elucidate, and be more honest with the experience, and say, the opening of the crown chakra is not so much something that I did of my own volition, but rather there is also a significant divine aspect to the whole process, as well as meaning that it is not entirely an individual's decision to open that pathway to source. It is also a decision made from above, as well as anything, if not more so than entirely made by the divine. And so ever since, I read that comment from that person saying they've been trying to, it was the most amazing experience, and they've been trying to reproduce it, recreate it. let me before I launch into my own narrative, I want to share something else from George Van Tassel's book, The Council of Seven Lights. Okay, just bear with me one moment here, please. Here we go. So this is a little excerpt from George Van Tassel's book, Council of Seven Lights, and this is actually being read, understood as this is God talking to us, to man. It says, "O man, you have made laws to avoid using my laws. Confusion, chaos, and war are the results of man's ideas, opinions, and assumptions. Light alone is the essence of truth. Truth alone is the essence of wisdom. Wisdom is the essence of knowledge. Knowledge is the essence of life. Only through knowledge can man express wisdom in action. I have given man life, that he might demonstrate my knowledge through action and wisdom. I extend the concentration of my light to those who are demonstrating my laws." And in a sense, when I said, it wasn't so much my choice, but a action I felt from the divine, that is one way to put that. I extend the concentration of my light to those who are demonstrating my laws. O man, in living my life, in breathing my breath, establish within yourself the solidarity, the contentment, the bliss of living rightly, that I may know, that I may feel the glorious pulsation of the being of you. Okay, so let me reiterate, reemphasize. O man, in living my life, in breathing my breath, establish within yourself the solidarity, the contentment, the bliss of living rightly, that I may know, that I may feel the glorious pulsation of the being in you. So, we got to be careful treating these things like the chakras and kundalini and these cities, as they call them in yoga terminology, but powers, but these experiences of turning them into the be-all, end-all of this journey, where we're not. This isn't some video game. I mean, be careful of seeking these exotic experiences versus living a sober, normal life, as that document said, living rightly, because there is a great joy in living virtuously, of having kind of cleaned your house up, drawn in all of your talents and powers and become integrated, and which is essentially is what enlightenment is all about. But be careful about chasing after these exotic experiences like it's some kind of video game or entertainment, because speaking from my personal experience, that was an intense time, but I am infinitely, talking about my Kundalini awakening and all, but there is a lot of my life since then that has had to be put back together, and there are many other tasks and things to focus on within your integration of the divine, because that is essentially what a Kundalini awakening is especially when you open your crown chakra, and it's connected to the galactic chakra, which is in turn your conduit to source. But it's a process of integrating the divine within your own formerly, limited human ego. And sometimes the danger of what happens is that experience can corrupt people or damage people, in that their ego becomes a superego, that it becomes like this sort of false matrix, where they think they've kind of gotten to a certain point with their spirituality, but they're still kind of trapped within their ego, but it's just a higher sort of functioning ego with much more dense or much more powerful, potent illusion to try to free yourself from. And so that experience for me, since then, I can tell you there is much joy to be had in living simply, to be doing, taking care of yourself and finding joy in, whether it be music, studying, or anything that's this sort of keeps you in this moment. And you kind of get in this other trap where you're chasing more exotic experiences and more, and then it becomes almost like it's a conversation piece at that time. It's like, but there's a lot of wisdom to all this process, and I never knew that, I didn't set out consciously when this began. I had no idea when what I consider my starseed awakening on August 11th, 2021. Well, it wasn't any kind of goal in my mind that, well, hey, I'm going to have this Kundalini awakening by a month from now. I had no idea. I had no, I was just integrating, and I was slowly, things were building up. And like I said, it wasn't so much something that I had planned out, or I can pat myself on the back or put a feather in my hat and be proud and brag to other people, because that's not what happened. It was all this stuff kind of was a divine occurrence in a way, and I can't explain it. I can't tell you one way or the other. It just happened, and it's conterminous, and what happened with me. It's been repeated. I mean, there's many testimonies about it, but along with those testimonies, there's danger with all that too. And the danger is one path of, excitement and almost like treating this journey like a virtual, like a video game or something, where you're constantly seeking these great, amazing visuals of things and just great experience. No, I mean, there's another path of integrating this divine, and each of us, especially after that moment, we're at that point, if you've, for whatever reason, however it's happened, if your crown chakra has opened and you've had anything of that life-changing nature, the way I understand it, you're an agent of the cosmos at that time. You have a certain responsibility to live a certain way, and I believe you're compelled to share this knowledge and truth with, with in any way that you can. And so, just to reiterate and kind of refocus, just be careful with this path. There's a lot to be gained from simply taking care of yourself, loving yourself, expressing your self-worth, being engaged in safe, stable activities. I can certainly say that I wasn't engaged in safe, stable activities with my life prior up to what I consider my starseed awakening. It was the path of incredible chaos, danger to my freedom with the way I was living my life, the things I was doing, danger to my life. Yes, I was not living a divine sort of yoga ascetic life, but so I can't I can't preach to anybody. I can say that since then, since that conversion, if you will, my life is very mundane in the outward physical sense, but very fulfilled in the inner life, and the just the contentment of being where I believe I'm meant to be in the moment, and doing what I was sent here to do. as I understand it, as a star seed, as an indigo star seed. I'm 53 years of age, born in 1969. I believe I'm a type 3 indigo. I've been in some dark places, around some dark energies, but I never ever compromised my connection, as I understood it, to Source. And I believe that I was meant to be a light in these dark areas, but at the same time, I had darkness within me. I was engaged in darkness, and it was very risky. I can only thank that I'm still alive. One, that I still have my freedom. That I didn't screw my life up forever. Not that there's any to judge that. This is just my assessment of my life. If anyone has ever, your path is unique, but wherever you're at in your life, ultimately this 3D construct is an illusion. So, but, I'm not trying to preach to anyone about how to live your life, but if this message would mean anything to anybody, I would say certainly treat your temple, treat your body as a temple, and what dwells within there is Source, a fractal of Source. So, take your divinity seriously, and because it is there, it's there within all of us. No matter where you're at in life, if you knew the details of my life, how I was living my life, what I was engaged in, Anyway, it's all good, but hang in there. Namaste. Namaskaram.